Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Weekly Win. My name is Tim. I'm joined by my co host, Ken.
Hello, everyone.
And today we're talking about Mr. Youngkin, current governor of Virginia. He's got some headlines around him. We figured we'd cover one that we found interesting. Ken, would you like to start us off?
I absolutely can do that. The main headline we have for you, kind of the only one, is Governor Youngkin has decided he will not ban local COVID-19 vaccine mandates.
Define local for
Aha,
me.
not state, not federal. So, for instance, you live in Anywhereville. It's a town, specifically in some state USA. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose that some state is Virginia and you live in small town Virginia. Okay.
Yep.
What Governor Youngkin wants to do is make it so not he, not resident Biden, but rather the local officials, so like your city mayors, the local police departments, like the sheriffs and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot, they would be the ones in charge of administering and enforcing these rules.
Okay, interesting. Well, I have my thoughts on it, but what are yours? Let's open up with your thoughts.
Uh, I don't know. It's a mixed bag because the way I see it, right? I
Mm-hmm.
look back at the times where we as Americans civically have done things like this. And the biggest glaring one is prohibition. And we all know how that went. You know, the police and the FDA and whatever agencies were around back then they weren't around. They weren't able to enforce prohibition. It was too widespread. You just couldn't deal with it. And I think that's basically
Yep.
what's going to happen here, especially if most of the states, a plurality of them, adopt the same idea that Mr. Youngkin does. I
Okay.
think that having all these complaints would stretch police resources way too thin. But then again, I don't know. It's just the ramblings of a madman, I guess.
I think this is actually the most ideal scenario. Well,
Wow.
all right. The most ideal scenario would be we have a president who isn't pushing a vaccine mandate. That would be like the S tier ideal. But like as high A tier, I think that giving it down to the localities is the best option because federalism.
Federalism. Ah,
You know me, I'm a huge federalism boy.
that's the one thing that makes it possible for me to stomach having a federal government.
I think that giving powers like this to localities, whether it be county, city, town, village, whatever, however local you want to go, I think that is the best option.
I think I actually agree with you. I spent a lot of time thinking about this, and I know we talked before the show, and I
Uh,
said something completely different.
yeah, I was gonna say we've been
But
debating this for like a week, and every time you say
yeah,
you disagree with me.
yeah, I know that was just to throw you off the scent there, throw you off the trail. I think I actually agree with you because, like you think about, and not to diverge from the current point, but I'm going to. You think about it, and state legislators, U.S. senators, things like that, at one point, now are picked by the people that they represent. So it does make a lot of sense to me that your local governor, well, not governors, but your local mayors or like your local representatives or something should have some sort of say in this, but definitely not the governors. Let me correct myself. They should have no say in this, and neither should the president.
Well, yeah, that's essentially the federal government isn't supposed to do anything but run a military and make sure that states are trading with each other. And that's about all they're supposed to do. And here we are today, where they control every aspect of your life.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for that one, FDR. Thanks, buddy.
It goes a little bit before him too. TR was not exactly the smallest government-minded president.
I don't think any of them were besides Andrew Jackson and maybe
That's
George
true.
Washington.
Accurate.
The only two, huh? Ironic.
Oh,
So I think there's something important we need to point out, and
go
it's
right ahead.
the voting demographics of Virginia. You
Mm-hmm.
pointed out to me actually just after the election how far right Virginia actually had swung.
Yep.
Wow.
Almost 3 points, like I predicted.
Yeah, I think that with that kind of backing, it's quite possible that very few of the localities in Virginia are going to even consider implementing these mandates. I don't know though.
Yeah, I have a feeling that a couple of counties will try, but they will be voted out by by the people, and then the pendulum swings in the other direction, the same way politics always has.
I'm kind of hoping that's how it goes because then that would lend some credence to the idea that, moving locally actually works and that you don't need to focus on having the president every year or every term or whatever.
Yeah. I think so many people have given up on the idea of local government because they don't understand it. And since so much power has just been shifted to the president, where we have dictator in chief now, pretty much, where they can sign away whatever they want with the stroke of a pen, which was never the intention. I think that because of that, so many people have just given up on local elections. But we're starting to see that local elections are making a comeback and they are having impact.
Yeah, very true. I think a last thing that I want to talk about is I think this is going to be a very good experiment. Basically, this is pitting the idea of the lockdowners versus the freedom lovers, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
We already know that most of the I don't want to call it like nonsense, but most of what we have in place now just it doesn't work or it's only marginally effective at best. So I think it really is a good idea to let the localities try and sort this one out instead. Statewide approaches haven't worked, nationwide approaches haven't worked. At some
Yeah.
point, you got to try it.
So I have a couple of concerns about this, but I think that's more of a topic for another day in terms of how this will generate flight out of areas, creating a much larger us versus them gap in
Mm.
terms of like where people are living. But like I said, I think that would be interesting to talk about in its own short.
Hmm. Us versus them, the trilogy.
Well, I think you got anything else for us, Ken? That's about all I've got for this.
Yeah, I don't have very much more. I will say that this is inspired though in part by one gentleman or lady, I'm not sure, who commented on one of our BitChute videos saying that the establishment ran Youngkin as a dupe. Like that guy got me thinking about it. He really did. So shout out to you. I forget your name. I should really write these down. Maybe I will one day. We'll see. But shout out to you. You
Yeah.
sir, very ahead of the curve here.
Yep, we're out here. We read your comments. We actually welcome all feedback. Like as much as we joke around insulting you in our videos, and well, we actually really don't. We take all feedback to heart, whether we agree with it or not. So it's because of people like you that we're doing this.
Now get out there, go local, and win those races. Let's take the power back. Let's do it.
Of course. Until next time, we hope you all have a great day and God bless.